Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Tariq Khalid. I'd like to welcome to our program here at Sharjah Media Corporation. Doing good. And we hope that by Allah's mercy and grace that everyone who is out there, that you are doing good. And that good which you're doing is pleasing to Allah for the sake of your own benefit in this world and hereafter. And if you're a person who you don't feel like right now your life is good and you need some enlightenment, listen, and hopefully Allah will enlighten you and open your heart to enjoying what is good and forbid what is evil, and of course, to enjoy righteousness. And this is what we're all seeking. Righteousness, to improve our condition with sincerity to the point where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts us. And that's all we need, isn't it? We need Allah to accept us. If Allah accepts us, everything is good. And Ubaidah bin Samit reported, we swore allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ to hear and obey in time of difficulty and in prosperity, in hardship and in ease, to endure being discriminated against and not to dispute about rule with those in power, except in case of evident infidelity regarding which there is a proof from Allah. We swore allegiance to the Messenger of Allah ﷺ to say what was right wherever we were and not to fear from anyone's reproaches, collected by Bukhari and Muslim. To swear what is right and not to fear anyone's reproach. We need to look at how important is that. And of course, one of the most loved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the person who speaks the truth in the face of a tyrant. Imagine that. And there are people who have done it historically and been killed for it, but they've been elevated to a very high level because of their belief system. So where do we stand today, you and me, in relationship to speaking the truth or being silent, and having the concern about the present condition of humanity? We can say humanity on a general basis, and of course it's the big picture, and we can say humanity based on where it is that we live and where our families are and those who we are associated with. If we make it small, those who we are associated with on a daily basis, that this is our real concern, those people who we love and love us. So if we take that minimum and go to the maximum, where do we stand? Do we really have the concern about the condition of all humanity? That all of humanity has the opportunity, the invitation to obey the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way He has commanded us to do it, not by our own desires. And that we have pursued knowledge and wisdom and understanding and implemented that which we had the knowledge of in a proper manner, so that our families will be raised in a proper manner to get the rahmah, the mercy from Allah, forgiveness from Allah, tranquility from Allah, peace from Allah. People who live in a society that is basically supposedly a peaceful society today, we see so many societies in conflict. It is easy for us to push the button and look on a program and see how people are living in horror globally. And this gives us, it should give us, those of us who are living in a peaceful society, the desire to thank Allah that we are in this kind of environment and not the environment that we see people suffering under. And those people who are suffering, we should pray for them, that Allah guide them, that Allah help them, that this society of violence, discrimination, oppression, that it be resolved, and that they come back to worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His obedience. So this is a huge challenge for us today. As due to the technical assistance that we have in today's world, we can see at any given time situations, circumstances that are going on anywhere in the world. And of course, in many instances in real time, meaning just when it's being shot, it's happening. It's going on all the time. We're looking at it all the time as it continues. And of course, this becomes a barometer for us, doesn't it? So the barometer for us is, how do I live? What do I need to do? Will my situation change? Tomorrow, will I be like those people? Tomorrow, will I be in a worse condition than the people who are suffering today? What is my condition today with my Lord? Not my financial condition, no. Not my status in my society, not my position, no. What is my relationship with my Lord? How do I stand with my Lord? Where am I? Does my Lord accept my prayer? Am I striving to do what we said, to do good, because I want my Lord to be pleased with me, believing that the peace I'm looking for in my life, it is not a place. It is here. And it doesn't matter where this body is placed, because I believe in Allah, that the peace Allah can give me this under any circumstance. And this, of course, comes from faith. So we should be looking for the higher level. Yes, all of us want to live in an environment, okay, that is conducive. This is natural. But let's say we don't. Does it mean that I cannot have peace? No, it does not. Proof. The proof of this is that the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, the people built a huge fire. They cast him into the fire in a catapult. It was so hot they had to build a catapult. When he was in the fire, Allah commanded the fire to be cool. So the fire became like a garden of paradise for Ibrahim alayhi salam. When Ibrahim alayhi salam stayed in the fire for 40 days and 40 nights, 40. When he came out, he said, more or less, these were the best days of my life. Physically, we can say this is not possible for a human being to be in the middle of a fire and not be burnt, and a huge fire on top of that. But we need to understand that Allah is the creator and sustainer, that everything is in his hand, and he does as he wills. And historically, we've seen over and over again how he supports the believers. So, and Allah says this over and over again, "O you who believe, believe." If you say you believe, implement the system of belief in your life, so that what? Allah has promised you gardens under which rivers flow, as an example, for those who are among the righteous. He has promised you things in paradise which no eye has ever seen, no mind has ever conceived of. But what is it that we must do? We must obey without seeing. We're reversing this equation. Not seeing is believing. And that is the challenge for the believer. And Nu'man bin Bashir, Rilana reported, Prophet ﷺ said, the likeness of the man who observes the limits prescribed by Allah, and that of the man who transgresses them, is like the people who get on board a ship after casting lots. Some of them are in its lower deck and some of them in its upper deck. Those are in the lower deck, when they require water, go to the occupants of the upper deck and say to them, if we make a hole in the bottom of the ship, we shall not harm you. If they, the occupants of the upper deck, leave them to carry out their design, they all will be drowned. But if they do not let them go ahead with their plan, all of them will remain safe. So there always must be a group of level-headed people, regardless of what is happening in society, and those people who are calling others to the belief in the oneness of Allah to implement in their life. The real success is in this. There's no success in any other medium. Now people say to me, brother, okay, you're a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. Okay, you believe that. I don't believe that. So you're going to force me to believe that? No, I'm not going to force you to do anything. My name is Tahir Khalid. You're from the Gilmore. What do I do? My job is to inform you. To inform you. That is my job, to inform you and to try to relate to you as much as possible. It is your choice to see and to pursue. There's no compulsion in Islam. It is for the person to see and open his heart to the truth for himself, not for anybody else. He himself has to want the truth. He must want to implement in his life a lifestyle change. He must desire to change his life. And in doing this, he will begin to see another aspect of life and death. But if he doesn't, he will not have clarity on this. He will be, as we see, confused. As we see, many people today are confused because the media has become a vehicle of mass confusion, or let's say has been used in this way. And what we're trying to do is to inform the people so that confusion can be resolved and that you would choose the true path of righteousness, true path of salvation for your own sake until the day of judgment. And we're hoping and we're praying that the people who are viewing our programs, they become inclined towards it. You don't just say, oh, I like that program. I like what the brother said the other day. Yeah, he reminds me of so-and-so. No, we don't want this to be a gossip or related to a gossip column. We want this to be a means of momentum, a means of influencing people to orientate themselves towards doing good. For who? For the sake of your own salvation. We don't want anything else. We're not looking for anything else. We're not looking for any other reward than obeying and pleasing Allah and then believing and praising and believing Allah, ultimately understanding that this is the real success for every single human being, for he who chooses, without exception. And then the people says, well, brother, what you said sounds good, man, but I have my own thing that I'm following. I said, you're following your own thing? Okay. Who made it up? Where did it come from? What's the criteria for it? Is it man-made? And we have many people today questioning the Quran and questioning the principles of Islam. And we say, you're questioning the Quran for what? What is it that you're attempting to do? You're seeking belief or you're seeking disbelief? If you're seeking disbelief, then this will bury you in a whole deep darkness. So be very careful and be very polite. If you're a person who says, I want the truth, and I know some guys who follow the truth, I just want to discuss with those guys, fine. But do not be an evil person. Do not say or do evil things in relationship to this, because we don't know what Allah will do in relationship to that. So we want to obey Allah in an organized manner for the sake of our own souls, believing that our success is in this path and there's no success in any other path, however it may appear, and that it may appear in this world, but it will change. And when it does change, or if it does change in this world, it will be a horror story for you if you're people on that path. So seek the path of true righteousness for the sake of your own soul, obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, implementing them in your life for your own sake, for your own salvation, as a means of influencing your children and others to the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for their benefit. The younger, the better. That the children understand who is Allah, what is Allah requiring, what is that they're going to do. Where is the real success? The ultimate success. This is essential for us to understand. Where do I stand with my Lord? What is my present condition? It is important to know this. So we're saying to everyone that's out there, pursue this knowledge wherever it is that you may be in the world. Go to a local masjid, sit with the imam, and sheet the questions. No problem. And if there's no time, come back again until all of your questions are answered. Why? Because if you don't do this, then you will not be satisfied. So take the time from the Imam to sit and discuss these issues and get clarity on them for yourself. Don't listen to the people, the rejectors, those who will take people astray. Don't listen to them. Seek truth for yourself, for your family, for your colleagues, for your neighborhood. Seek the truth. Pursue understanding of who is Allah. What does Allah want from us? How we can do it, implement it, wherever we are in the world, how we can implement this in the fashion that Allah would be pleased with us. And this become a means and methodology for the guidance of others. We have a tremendous amount of people in today who are totally misguided. They're like animals. Actually, in some instances, worse than animals, because actions that humans, considering that we have so-called intelligence, that we're committing, animals do not commit. But human beings, due to they have free choice, have chosen to commit acts which far exceeds those worst actions that we would see in animals. So people say, brother, you calling me an animal? Yes, I'm calling you an animal. Brother, that's not nice. It says, well, think about it. Think about your behavior and think about the behavior that Allah is pleased with. Make a comparative analysis. And when you begin to really analyze yourself realistically, you're going to see you're very, very far away from this guidance. And this is by choice. So Allah gives us choice. Allah gives us rope. So choose to hold on to the rope of Allah for the ultimate success in this life and the hereafter. My name is Tariq Khalid. I'd like to thank you for joining us here at Sharjah Media Corporation on doing good. And we continue by Allah's mercy to strive to do righteous deeds and actions for the sake of our own souls and for the betterment of our families and our society and all of humanity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.